Has this ever happened to you? You're all set, ready to make some art. You've got your tools, your inspiration playlist, and then you're staring at a white page and suddenly your mind goes completely blank. Hey everyone, it's Marzia, or heymaryjean if you will. So why is a blank page so terrifying? I mean, it's just a piece of paper, right? But it's like the moment you sit down, that blank canvas turns into that giant intimidating void that feels like it's judging you. Suddenly, you're overthinking everything. What if I mess up? What if this idea flops? What if I hate what I make? And before you know it, you're stuck. I think a big part of the fear comes from putting way too much pressure on ourselves. I mean, we're constantly bombarded by these incredible artists on Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, everywhere. It's easy to feel like you have to compete with that level of perfection every time you sit down to draw. And instead of having fun with it, you end up freezing, right? At least that's how it goes for me. But here's the thing, your art doesn't have to be perfect. If you expect every single piece to be flawless, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. And honestly, you're taking all the fun out of art. It's a journey. It's about learning, experimenting, and improving. Perfection isn't the goal. Progress is. Even the best artists, like the ones we all admire, have sketchbooks full of unfinished pieces, weird doodles, and ideas that didn't go anywhere. And that's normal. So let go of this pressure that every drawing has to be a masterpiece from the start. It doesn't. It just has to exist. So what do you actually do when you're sitting there staring at that blank page and nothing's coming to you? Here are a few tricks that help me when I'm totally stuck. 1. The scribble. If you were the kind of person who used to doodle all over your school notes, this is the same energy, just letting your mind wander while your hand does its thing. I find that when I doodle mindlessly, my brain stops overthinking and I can just enjoy the flow of shapes and lines. Seriously, just scribble. Don't worry about making anything look good. The whole point is to loosen up and get your hand moving. Once you start scribbling, your brain will start to see something. There's no wrong way to do it. Some artists even take it up a notch and do this with blobs of color, which is another great way to do this exercise. It helps get the tension out. 2. Limitation sparks creativity. Believe it or not, giving yourself limitation can actually boost creativity. Try setting specific rules like only using 2 colors, drawing with just one continuous line, or limiting yourself to a specific number of shapes. By restricting your options, you force your brain to think outside the box. I did a one brush challenge recently and it can be really fun and a breath of fresh air. If you have a specific style you stick to, like me, doing these challenges can help you try something new. 3. Prompts are your friends. Whenever I'm stuck, I turn to prompts. You've probably heard of Inktober, which, by the way, is just around the corner. There are so many prompt lists online, not just for Inktober, but also for challenges like Mermaid or random prompts. Sometimes all you need is a little nudge, just a spark of direction to get started. The blank page can feel overwhelming because you have no clue where to begin. But once you've got a prompt in mind, suddenly you have a starting point. It's like someone's giving you a head start in a race, and now all you have to do is run with the idea. That little bit of structure can make a huge difference in turning your what do I draw into a I know exactly where I'm headed. 4. Look at old art. This is one of my favorite things to do. There's always that one drawing or concept you did ages ago that you thought, this could be better. Redraw it with all the new skills you've developed since then. You don't have to start completely from scratch, which can sometimes be the hardest part. Instead, you already have the base to work from and the pressure is off because it's just your old art. Plus, there's something super motivating about taking something you once thought was the best you could do and leveling it up with the artist you are today. 5. Change of medium. If you're always working on digital art, like me, try going back to traditional pencils or paints. If you're always sketching, try something three-dimensional like clay or even photography. The idea is to break your routine. Using a different medium can shift your perspective and open up new possibilities. I've found that when I switch up my tools, I start enjoying the process again. Change up that canvas once in a while. 6. Background noise. Sometimes it's not about what you're looking at, but what you're listening to. Music can set the mood, and podcasts and audiobooks can give you ideas, even if they're not art related. I find that having something in the background keeps my brain busy. And before I know it, I'm doodling or coming up with new concepts without even trying. I tend to listen to music that resonates with the thing I'm currently drawing. So let's say I'm drawing Sailor Moon, I would put music related to that on my Spotify. It really helps me stay in the zone. 7. Browse for inspiration. We all know that Pinterest is amazing for artists who are looking for inspiration. Look at things that inspire you, whether it's artists, fashion, nature, whatever. The goal here isn't to copy anyone's work, but to spark an idea. It's like filling up your brain with cool ideas that you can mix and match into something uniquely yours. But let's be real for a second, this can easily backfire, right? I've been caught in that Pinterest doom scroll more times than I can count. So if you want to try this without falling down the rabbit hole, I'd recommend recommend setting a time limit for yourself, like 10 or 15 minutes. Once your time is up, pick 2 or 3 things that really stand out to you and stick with them. That way you get inspired and stay focused. 8. Stop trying. I don't mean to stop drawing once and for all, but just for a moment. We can't force ourselves to make art. That's counterproductive. Sometimes the best way to get over this blank page anxiety and art block is to step away from the canvas completely. Have a little me time, grab a coffee, or just spend a little time outside. Nature has a way of clearing your head and letting ideas come naturally. Do something you love, like playing video games, and who knows, you might spot something that inspires your next piece. And one last thing I want to say, remember that your art is for you. It's so easy to get caught up in likes, comments, and followers, especially with social media, but at the end of the day, your art is your voice. It's about your expression, your emotions, and your story. So don't worry about what other people think. That blank canvas becomes even scarier when we start thinking about how it's going to be received online. But I want to remind you, your art doesn't have to please anyone but you. The likes and the follows don't define your worth as an artist. What does? The fact that you keep showing up and creating, even when it's hard. And if you're still feeling stuck, try one of the tricks I mentioned today. Art is supposed to be fun, so give yourself permission to play. If you're new here, welcome. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the fun. And to all my returning friends, thank you for sticking around. See you in the next video. Bye!